Hello and welcome everybody. I hope you're doing okay. It's Paul here. I've got Rob down the other end. How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great. How are you doing this morning?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Look, I'm looking forward to this session. Yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be good. We're going to be covering Amasuite, Amasuite 5, and in particular the analyzer, top 100 analyzer, what it used to be called. It's got a new name now, but that's what we're going to be looking at. It's got sort of 5 individual software suites in between it, but we're going to be focusing on one today. So up until now, we have had a look at ASIN Inspector, an ASIN Inspector Pro. We've had a look at Jungle Scout, and in particular, Jungle Scout web app in conjunction with the Chrome extension. Like I said, today we're going to be focusing on Amasuite. And we get asked a question with respect to which one's the best. So, you know, every one of these software tools has its own benefits, features, and merits to the business. And one of the things we're going to do in the future, in the coming weeks, is start to compare Amasuite and Jungle Scout web app, for example, and ASIN Inspector versus Amasuite, or ASIN Inspector versus Jungle Scout. So we're going to start to do those comparisons, so which will be quite good. They've always been popular in the past, so we're going to do that coming up, and obviously you get an invitation for all of those. So anyway, what's going to happen today is I've got some initial slides, and I'm going to explain some of the features within the software, and then we're going to jump over. I'm going to hand over the controls to Rob, and Rob's going to dive into this live. Rob's got some data that we can actually have a look at, and we can go through some of these features, and you can see how they work. So I've got the screenshots. So I'm going to go through the screenshots of the main features, and then we're going to go over to the live data. Once I've finished here. So welcome everybody. Again, so let's jump straight into this. So Amasuite, here we go. So Amasuite has got 5 tools. This is the Amasuite 5, and it's got 5 tools. They are the AMA keyword generator, the AMA top product analyzer, which we'll be looking at today, the AMA search analyzer, the AMA review analyzer, and there's a new kid on the block as opposed to Amasuite Floor. In 5, they have introduced a piece of software called Ally Inspector. We'll be going through each of these in turn, but like I say, today we're just going to be focused on the AMA top product analyzer, which is the orange one, the second one from the left. Okay. Right, so that's a quick screenshot of what we're going to be doing today, and you can see the interface. We're going to dive into the interface a little bit more in depth as we go through this. And like I say, we're going to be looking at that live once Rob takes control. So some of the benefits or the features of the top 100, or the product analyzer. So using the analyzer, you're allowed to, or you can actually perform searches that dive really deep into the subcategories. You've always been able to do that, but it's going to be a lot easier with this new software, the update that they've actually looked at. Now this software does actually work on Windows. It also works on Mac. I'm running a Windows, so you'll see the Windows interface, but it does work on both. So if you've got a Mac, there's no problems there. Okay, so and it actually analyzes the top 100 items in any sub category. All right, and again, we can have a look at that. And there's a ton of new features in there over the Amasuite 4 software. So this is the interface with respect to the top 100. So on the left here, this is the top 100. So if you do a search in Google for top 100 products, you'll come up with this interface, and you've got all of the departments down on the left-hand side, and each of those departments is broken down into the top 100. Now, the analyzer has exactly the same list in a drop-down menu. You can see that on the right-hand side here. And you can expand each of these menus into the subcategories or the sub-menus. And again, we're going to have a look at that in a second. All right, so if we're looking over here, for example, at a subcategory, we can actually expand these little crosses to actually open up a subcategory. So you can see on the sort of the tree in the menu tree over on the right hand side here, we've got patio, lawn and garden. I've opened that up, and that's brought out a number of different subcategories. Okay, so you can just open up and open up. And if you want to have a look at one of these, you just tick one. So if we're looking at sort of grill brushes, for example, we'll just tick grill brushes here, and that would just extract that data out of grill brushes. All right, so it's a lot easier. So you can actually open up and drill down, tick the box that you want to do, and then just go off and press the green button at the top, which Rob will show you in a second, to extract more data. Once that data is extracted, and you can see an example here where I've ticked the grill brushes and grill scrapers, it will actually go off and extract some data. All right, not all of the data, but it'll go and extract some data. So you can actually, once it's pulled out the data, then you can start to apply some filters on the ones that you want to go and extract all of the data. Now we'll explain that once Rob comes over and shows us live and why we do that and how easy it is to actually apply the filters to this subset of data. Now they've introduced a really cool feature. This and it's called the opportunity score. And you can set the parameters on this, and you can simply do that simply by sort of right-clicking anywhere on the data set, and that'll bring up a pop-up menu. Now, this pop-up menu has your opportunity score parameters. Okay, now you can tick any of these or untick any of the ones that you're interested in looking at. Now we've got the main rank, and you can go in there and set the parameters that you actually want. So in this case, we've got I only want to highlight a main rank of between 20,000 and 15,000. Now the important score is a weighting, if you want. So you give it a 10 if you think that's really important, or you give it a 4 if you think, well, it's not as important. And basically what that does is it applies a quick calculation to your parameters that you're setting, and it goes off in the background and gives you that calculation, and it highlights the ones that are important and less important to you. All right, so you can go through, and some of these parameters are exactly the same as what we have been looking at with our own parameters and our strategy within the Gorillaz. Okay, so we can go in there and set the pricing, we can set the ranking, the number of reviews, etc., etc., and that can give us the opportunity. And we'll be able to see that. And I think on the next slide that I've quickly shown that, and it's highlighted in orange or yellow with respect to the right opportunity, as in there's a higher opportunity, lesser of an opportunity. The ones that are not highlighted over here on the right hand side, it means that they do not meet the criteria that I've set down in my opportunity parameters. So it still shows them, so we can still analyze them side by side, but the opportunity score is shown and it's highlighted, so it's easy for us to see that, oh, okay, these ones actually meet the criteria. Let's dive into that a little bit more. Okay, so that's a really neat feature. It still has the good old interactive HTML review report. So if you're used to Amasuite 4, you know that you just hit the report and that came up with this. It still does that, which is really cool. So we can now go in and have a look at the results in this HTML. And again, we can click on any of these parameters and that can bring up the actual page within Amazon itself, so we can start to delve into the listing and start to do further analysis from that point of view. So that's always good. There's some other features on here. The right click is now very much part of Amasuite, the right click of the mouse. So if you just right click anywhere on this, that's going to bring up a pop-up menu. But if you actually right click on one of the actual products, that's going to bring up this, and you can dive in. Say for example, this one here, you can dive in and have a look at the product history. All right. Now what that's going to do is going to open up a dedicated window, and that's just going to take you into camel. All right, so you've got that feature as well. We've seen that on other pieces of software, but you know that product history is showing up in a separate window in camel in this instance. So that's pretty powerful stuff. Some of the other features, we could actually do a search. So we had you saw earlier where I had the grill brushes, and I had another grill one there. So if you've got if you want to sort of do a search in the sort of the drop down menus, the subcategories, but you're not sure where it is, but you know what you're looking for, so you can do a search here. So for example, we want grill. Okay, so I'll put grill in the search bar here, then I'll go off and press search, and that will come up with everything that's got grill in the subcategory or in the title of the category itself. So on the left hand side here, you can see the sort of the categories and all of the subcategories, and you can see anything that's got grill in it. Now in this case, it came up with automobile. It's talking about grills and radiator grills and stuff like this. It also came up with electronics, where you're looking at a grill for a computer or something like that, or some other electronic products where they have a grill to protect the fan, for example, something like this. So they're irrelevant. So all you can do is just close them down, from as in just hit the minus on the little box to actually close that category down. But those you are interested in, you can actually have a look at and tick them. Now, if you've got to remember, this is live data. Now, within Amazon itself, the top 100 information inside Amazon is updated on an hourly basis, right? Every hour that is updated by Amazon. And consequently, when you go off and do your search within Amz Suite, whenever you hit that search bar or go and get more data, extract data, it goes and gets the very latest information. Consequently, if you come back to your favorite search, for example, grill brushes in this case here, 2-3 days later or a week later, yeah, that data is going to change. You know, that data you've already extracted is changed. So what you can do is you can actually save your category file. Yeah, so if I've sort of selected grill brushes, grill scrapers, grill carts, grill racks, okay, and I think, yeah, I'm interested in this. This is my niche. Okay, this is it. What I can do is come down to the bottom here, click file, and then I can save my category file. All right, and it will save all of the subcategories that I've actually ticked. All right, so if I want to come back and say, you know what, I'm only interested in my grill niche today, and I want to get the very latest information, bearing in mind it changes on an hourly basis, I can just load that category file again, and it will just bring up these items, these subcategories that I've selected. I can then go off and press the green, go and extract more data, and it's going to bring up the very latest information. And again, you can save these files and you can compare like for like. So you can, but the key thing is it does change, and it changes on an hourly basis. So instead of you think, oh, did I have combination grill smokers last time? I can't remember. You know, the easiest way to do it is once you've got your subset or categories, save that and just save that as grill niche, for example, and you can always come back to that and bring it up time and time again. So that's a nice little new feature they've added as well. So I think it's really time to go and have a look at. So I'm going to hand over to Rob, so if we can run some live data. And again, I can, well, between the two of us, we'll be able to walk through and I'll just dive in with a few comments. That's all right, Rob.
That's all right.
So I'm going to stop sharing and give you the control, sir. So all yours.
All right.
I can see that.
All right. So I'm getting an echo from somebody. So. All right. We there?
Make sure I haven't got anything on.
I'm still getting.
Is it from me?
I don't know.
Unless you, it could well be you. You might have a live window open. You might have the YouTube channel open.
I could. No. No YouTube. That's our current one. Well, it doesn't sound like it's there anymore, so I guess we're good. Can you hear me well? Everything's good.
Yep, all good.
All right, there we go. So, you know, this was probably the first product that we used probably now more than 2.5 years ago, and it was pretty powerful then. It was the first product that really went out and searched before Jungle Scout, before ASIN Inspector, and before any of the other pieces of software out there. Amz Suite was #1. And so after the last 1.5 years, they've decided to come out and do some improvements. And there are some really cool improvements here that will help you begin your product search. Again, it does things. It doesn't. The only thing that it does not do is the amount of sales. Well, with things like Unicorn Smasher, you can get your sales figures, which will help you. But everything else in here is very similar to some of the other programs. But the main 100% main difference is this, is that, and really this is more equivalent to the Jungle Scout web app and not the Chrome app. Because what this does is actually a product seeker as compared to Jungle Scout in the Chrome application or ASIN Inspector in the Chrome application. They basically analyze a page, meaning you got to pull up the page, you got to find something, and then what it does is it goes in and analyzes and tells you information about the page full of stuff that you have. Whereas Amasuite actually comes up with the filters prior to you searching, so that when you begin to look at products, you're only looking at products that meet specific characteristics that you want. And so this is really more about finding the product and not the analyzation of the product, which is a very cool thing. Now, the one other big difference is that you're not searching a database. Jungle Scout searches a database of stuff. Now, again, as we talk about ASIN Inspector doesn't do what this does. It's a completely different product. ASIN Inspector, again, is more like the Chrome application, whereas this is actually a piece of software that loads on your computer. And what it does is it actually goes, like Paul had said, it goes live to Amazon, and it actually searches Amazon live at that moment to what's going on. Now, I don't know so much with what we do that it's that perfect moment, but certainly that it's updated and you're actually searching all of Amazon's products. And, you know, I know there are many, many millions and millions of products in Jungle Scout's database for their web application, but it is not all of the products. I think they're up to 15 million, which still is not anywhere close to the amount of products that are on Amazon. Now, the thing about this is that it's a little slower in getting your information. So what I've had to do last night before I went to bed, I did some searches, and I'm going to show you how we did that, and I'm going to walk you through everything, and we're actually going to go, and then we'll kind of analyze some products from there. So as we get on, some of the first thing you're going to know is this is the top 100 product analyzer. Now, it does way more than just the top products. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start out up here on the left, and you can pick either Amazon.com or Amazon.uk. It does not do any of the other markets inside of it. Now, you can pick bestsellers, hot new releases, movers and shakers, most wished for, and most gifted. So you're not just stuck in the bestsellers. And to me, because we search for smaller niches and we're looking for products that may be newer, so hot new releases is a great place for you to go in and try to find products that are brand new, that are hot on the market, and they're selling. And they've got the ranks that you would like to have. Now, again, we're trying to find products that have a smaller amount of competition. So we're looking for specific products that we call the golden nuggets. They're products that meet the criteria that we want in our product search. Now, movers and shakers, those are more newer stuff. They're just really happening. They're kind of exploding right now. You may want to get on that. Now, here's a neat one, which is most wished for, which means there's a lot of people out there. You can kind of like see what people's future kind of is, what their future ideas are, what they want to have along the way, the stuff that they've stored up for their birthday. So you can kind of get some indication of the trend that's going on with these type of products. And then, of course, gifts. You know, I don't know so much if gifts helps us as much, but it certainly could give you the idea to go extract maybe some different kind of products that are out there. How about that, Paul? You think? What do you think about the ways we can search? Any comments there?
No, that's good. You know, I've never actually looked in the wished list, but yeah, that's a good idea actually. Good idea. So yeah, you're right. It's the bestsellers is the obvious one to jump into, and that's where a lot of people do their searches. But have a look in the others. Have a look in the other categories. Absolutely.
Well, I love hot new releases because hot new releases tends to give you the fact that you can, you know, you can find a product that's brand new, or that's, you know, or that, I mean, sometimes there are products that are all in other categories. But as you're looking, you may find that hot new releases that there's several of the same products. I might tell you there's too much competition. All right, so that's where we start. So I last night I did select bestsellers through the deal. Then we go down to the next place, which is categories. So in the categories area, you can see that one of the great things that in the new application that it does is it allows you to dive super deep into these categories. Meaning you're going to be able to drill down where these niches are. And here's an example. So we're going to craft supplies. First we went into appliances, and then the next one, because it's in alphabetical order, is arts, crafts, and sewing. So I clicked that. It came down, and then we started out in the subcategory of craft supplies. Because my thought process is supplies is one of the secrets that I use. I love the word supplies because that means there's lots of tools and lots of things that maybe people in specific niches really like. So I click craft supplies, and you can see these little menus come down, and you can see. So I click this button right here on the left. It opens it up. And then as you can see, basket making, candle making, ceramics, pottery. So And you can see the little tick, it dives it down. And now all of a sudden you can see dies and kits. Kits might be a good thing for you to select because there's kits of stuff, and those people, you know, would be, who are in that area, could be eating, and there may not be super sales inside of that. So we go into craft supplies, and as you can see, I then went down and I got to cutting tools. So to me, cutting tools usually are objects that are, and you can see one of the cool things you can do is you can slide these out and change them around, which will help you look a little bit better. So what I did was I went in and I selected craft shears, glass cutting tools, and you can see how far I'm inside of these categories. I mean, I'm super deep inside of Amazon categories right now. And these are things that you cannot do in these other pieces of software. You cannot delve down. Now, they may look and you may be able to filter them in, but not just starting out. You can't go in and just pick the category and then delve super into it. Like, you're kind of just stuck at searching the parameters. So this parameter is super good for you to be able to find products. So here we are. We went to molding compounds. I don't know. I just started molding tools. I really like. I should have selected that. Molds. So there's the products that I selected. And so once you select those, what you'll do is you'll go up here. I'm gonna pick something here. I'm gonna pick tools, and then molds for that. All right, so then we've done that, and then I'll kind of close this down a little bit. Now you can also put in keywords up here, right here at this area at the top left. So if you want to put in keywords, you know, so let's say you're looking for dog supplies, you can put that in there. Now you can just as easily go down to the bottom and look for it under pets and then come down to that area too. One of the great things about that is it's typically going to tell you that there could be 100 items in there because it wouldn't have its own little subcategory in there. So another little secret that when you're in here, when you're expanding out these super deep categories, that means that there are, you know, 100 probably people in that area. So it'll tell you, and then as you get into the page, as we do with the other piece of software, and you're analyzing the page, that's where you can find out how many competitors are. Remember, we want under 150 competitors. So that's that point. Then we come over here, and this little button right here. Now, one of the little secrets that I found on Amasuite is that you leave this button off first. And then what you do is literally you go up here and you'll start extracting. And so what it's doing is it's only really extracting the data from those tools right now, because it's got most of the other ones that it's done. Now what it's done down here at the bottom, you can see it processing the pages. Now what's going to happen is that it's going to produce these pages, but it's not going to give you all of the information, as you can see here. So the weight, the ships by the site, total offers, FBA size, the opportunity, reviews, the rating of the price. So I'll go through these real quick while it's doing this. So what it does here is it gives you the actual rank as far as the stuff that you're picking inside of here. It tells you the category. It tells you the ASIN number. Yes, the ASIN number. Then it gives you the title of what it is. It tells you what the main category it's in. We know it's in one of these. It tells you the sales price, the rating that the product has, and the number of reviews that it has. And then, like you said over here, it gives you weight, ships by, who is it, who's selling the Amazon, merchant, or FBA. It tells you the site it's on. And so one of the things I'll do is some of these, I don't care about that info. I don't care about the total off. Now over here, you can see the dimensions, the FBA size, and the opportunity. And I'll let Paul go through that here in a second. So as you can see, it's extracted this data down here. Anything to add, Paul?
Yeah, on columns, if you click columns over on the right-hand side there, you'll be able to see that you can actually select the columns that you're looking at and you can turn on or off sort of the key ones. So you said you weren't interested in the total offers. You can turn that off simply by unchecking that little box. So you can actually customize what you're looking at from the sort of the data set that's actually provided to you.
That would be
once you've got that, you can then apply, and that'll remember that for the next time as well.
What's great is that's one of those new things that we used to have to do, like I was showing you by hand, and I all the time was trying to get this little thing here to slide back and doing the problem I just had. So that's a great upgrade.
Yep.
Old one. So that's a really good opportunity, because some of these things you don't need. We don't need to know how many offers. We don't know main category total, because this product was realistically developed for affiliate salespeople to begin with. Now, and that's where 2 years ago I realized that there were all of these parameters in here, and I was the first one to kind of hack this software to use it for FBA. Now, tons of people do it now, but I did a video almost 2 years ago, well, multiple videos that we've done on Amz Suite, and I've had almost 100,000 views on all these videos about Amz Suite, showing people how to use it for Amazon FBA. All right, so we've done that. So that gives us all of these products. Now, the thing is because when we go get more data, because there's some more data that you can see hasn't filled in, because what it does is it quickly goes out and grabs stuff, and then it puts it in here, and you only end up with these things. So one of the things that we want to do is, and remember, just like the web app on Jungle Scout, it filters. But remember, this is filtering all, and you'll see down here at the bottom, right? Filters down here. You click it, and then you go up here. Now, one of the things about filters, and the same thing it does with things, is basically you're taking all the data and you're coming down and you're trying to look at products that only would match your criteria. And that's the great thing about this. So you're not wasting your time looking at a bunch of products that don't, that are $55 or $8 or whatever it means. So the great thing about these filters now, again, this is produced live. It's searching every single product that is in it, has an API that it's pulling in right now live. All right. So the first column, and what we're going to do is so when we go extract more data, there's no reason, because it takes a little bit of time. The only thing that I would say is negative at all about Amz Suite is the fact that you have to, it's probably not a good idea to sit down and do all of the product research at one time. You're probably going to need to go in, and this is a good thing to do before you go to bed. You go in, you search your categories, you pull it all up, you do what I'm doing right now, and then you let it run, because you got to imagine if you pull up 10,000 products and they take a second or 2 seconds to do it, you multiply those seconds, times 10,000, it can take a while to be able to pull them out. Filter, what you have is you can now filter categories. Now, right here, this is a super important thing. If you select any of these categories and there's 0 in there, when you filter them out, you got to think nothing's going to come out. So if you put in weight as one of your parameters that we're going to filter right now, and you have to do the filtering after we get to the next step. So weight, ships by, total off, dimensions, FBA size, and the opportunity. If you search for any of these products, it will literally come up 0. So just to show you. We want the main rank because we don't have that, right? So the main rank we don't have. So you put the now again, let me preface this. This is not what you should do. One more time. This is not what you should do. So you go main rank and you're going to compare the type. And what it does is it has this drop down menu that you can see. These are all the filters you can use because this is all the columns that it has. Now, here's what you do. You equal, greater than, less than, greater than, equal, less than, or not equal to. And then the value that you're going to have. So what the number is. So it just to show you, if we just did the main rank is less than 50,000, let's say. Now, if you search this, watch. Now, and here's what's great. These numbers can come back anytime because this number is loaded in here. So we apply that, and you can see they all went off. They're all gone. Now this is the other ones, but all of those ones we just pulled are gone. So the first thing what we're trying to do is we're trying to save some time in what we're doing. And so what we do know here is that it has the sale price. Well, we know that sales price matter, and the number of reviews, and the weight. Well, not the weight, because we're not extracting it right now, I'm sorry. But these two main things, so the sales price and the reviews, we can take out products and not search for them that we don't want to look at anyway. So let's look at the number of reviews. We want the reviews less than, let's say less than 200 reviews, okay? Then we want to add another one. Now you could do more than those number of reviews if you wanted. So you can say more than 5 reviews, which we don't want. Now here's the sales price, which is most important. We don't care about the list price. That has something to do with affiliate sales. We want the sales price, and we want the sales price less than, let's say $50. Coming in, and down here again, you press the word add, and we want to go back to sales price again, and we want the sales price greater than $25. Okay, so those are the filters, and when you press apply, it's going to eliminate all of those things based upon those filters. So it's super powerful, the fact that it can go in and eliminate all of these things. So we're going to apply those, and you can see they all changed. If we go back and we were to change this number down here, the total number of items, which was just 700, dropped to 200. So there are only 200 items in this search that I've done that actually meet the criteria. So now we go done, and this button right here is extract more data. Now this data, there's more categories, so it takes a minute more to shoot it. But what we did was, instead of wasting that time, this is a hack. What we did was we eliminated products that don't meet our reviews. As you can see, here's the sales prices. They're all going to be right. Here are the number of reviews. They're all under the numbers and parameters that we told it to. So when we extract more data, we press this button right here.
And then you've got an orange button down the bottom, which is more data. Okay, so if you go to more data, on the left, yeah, that's it. And then you can actually go and extract more data from either just individual rows or all of the sort of aspects you've actually got in there. And this capture, you can turn this on or off, but that capture is just to make sure that you want to actually go off and do this, because it's going to take an awful lot of time to go and do it. Now, if you're on your mobile phone and you're using data, for example, or you're on a data package, for whatever reason you're using it on a data package, you may not want to actually go and do that, and it was a mistake. So that capture is there. Just are you sure you really want to go off and get all of the data? So, but you can actually turn that off if you want.
All right, so you can see down here it's processing those things. All right, so as we're doing this, see how it takes about a second per page or per item. So 10, 11, 12, so it's about 3 times. So it can take some time. So it's super important that you use that other step to eliminate some of those things. And you can see it's extracting that data as you go down. Extracting, it's calculating. So this is live. It's going in there right now, and it's finding out these products that are in there. It's not a database. And one of the problems right now that I'm experiencing, and I'm not saying it's not a great program, I'm saying it's a good program, but Jungle Scout, I swear I see the same products again and again and again. And it makes sense when you take a parameter and you put it in a filter and you put the same filters, and you watch a video by me or somebody else and you put in their criteria, guess what? You're going to get the same products. Whereas this is allowing you to get a bunch of different parameters inside of it, and it's doing it live right there. So I'm going to stop this because I've already run some things. So all this would do is it'd finish and it'd give you all of these things. And I do like the idea that I could search it quicker with more data, because make sure I understood that, Paul. So I could I could take it so it wouldn't pull the number of offers, correct?
Yeah, correct.
All right. Which you may want to, you know,
if you've got, for example, in there, if you right click now,
yep.
yeah, if you do a right click, that's going to bring up a pop-up menu. Okay, now on here you can if you clicked on a title, for example, you can actually pull in more data from a similar product, and that's going to add those to the bottom of the list, or products also bought. Okay, so if you're looking at glass cutters, for example, and we can actually go off and bring in those new parameters, you can highlight that rows and just extract the data for those rows only. All right, so it's from that point of view, it's pretty cool. So if you sort of press the products also bought, you can. I think you need to right click on the title of something, Rob. On an actual product, yeah. If you right click, that's it. You right click on that, and then products also bought. That's now going to go and extract data of products also bought when people bought this product. All right, so you can now just highlight those particular rows and go and extract data for just those rows. So it's going to save you a lot of time from that point of view as well.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Okay, so that's another nice little feature. But what I'd like to jump into now, if you do, and again,
how do I undo that?
You need to be able to go back, don't you?
And if I do that, it'll take them all out. I lost all my opportunities.
I was pulling them all in now. No, that's a good question.
Well, that wasn't good. All right, so we'll just keep moving because it doesn't change anything that we have.
That's right. So from here, if you then if you look at these highlighted areas where we've got some orange, we've got some pinks, we've got some greens. So this is what we call the opportunity score. So again, if you sort of right click on the table somewhere on one of the data points, you should be able to calculate opportunity score. Well, we need to bring up the opportunity score.
Oh. My opportunity score.
I think it's just a right click anywhere on there as opposed to an individual component.
It says calculate opportunity score.
Yeah, do that. But if you go up to the gear wheel, up to the settings of the little gear wheel at the top, you should be able to see opportunity score there on the right hand side. Okay, so that is where you actually start to set your parameters. So your main rank, where we're interested here, you can see that as 2,000 to 15,000. You got the main rank position, you got your weights, you've got the sales price, 15 to 30. And all of the importance is what we're looking at here is everything's really, really important because they're set to a 10. Whereas if you think, you know what, the ratings range, you know, I don't really view that as important as the price, for example. So you could change that to a 5. All right. And what that's going to do, if you change that to a 5 now, Rob, where we've got the ratings range, that's it. If you change that to a 5, then that's going to apply a different weighting. So if you do done now, all right, that's going to go and give us a different set of results, simply because we've just changed one of those parameters in there. But you can see everything that's highlighted in there is actually saying, you know what, this is a good opportunity. Why don't you go and have a look at this particular product? Okay. Now, I believe it's down on the controls, on the little button down on the bottom, down on the controls. You got the preview. So if you go in and set the preview now, that's going to open up a separate HTML window where we can actually start to look at these products. And one of the things that we do say is, when you're looking through this, automatically get into your mind products to avoid. Yeah, always do that.
So as you can see, and what it's done is it went through here. Oh, I got someone's echo. I don't know where that's coming from. Someone turned it off. Okay. All right, back to the hotel. All right, so here we are, and what it's done is it's pulled up, and one of the great things is that you can go in and you can go right to Amazon. Okay. Now remember, the difference is this Chrome app, all it's going to do is, when you're on there, so if you're going to use them in tandem and you're going to own Jungle Scout Pro or not. Now, one of the things about Jungle Scout Pro is this may be an opportunity for you not to get the Pro version, because Amasuite has gone through and it's extracted a lot of this data that you don't need to filter here, because you've already filtered it before you've gotten here. So it'll give you the revenue, the weight, and things like that, the same as the other one, but you don't need that. You've already done the reviews. So some of the things that Jungle Scout Pro does, you won't need if you own this product. And that's how you'd analyze the page. So let me go back to here. So when I'm back in here, and remember, this tool is so powerful. There's so many things. Now, well, I was thinking about that and how many little buttons we've clicked and things like that. That's because this tool is so powerful at filtering all of the products, all of them. And that's why I love this product. But it is a lot of little buttons and things to click. Now, one of the great things about this is they have a superior, training videos that you can go through this and learn how to do this. Now, you're not going to have to learn every single thing. Now, the other thing that we haven't talked about is there are 3 or 4 other pieces. What, 4 other pieces? 3 other pieces. 4 other pieces.
Right? There's 4 other pieces of software in here, yeah.
Right. So basically, you're getting 5 pieces of software. Now, all of them aren't appropriate for what we're doing, but we have something called, there's a review finder, and then there's as well as a product that goes out and helps you find a product. It's a little more specific. So what we would do is we need to go back to these filters, because now we want to filter more things, and we add another filter. So now we have the weight. So we want to go back through and put the weight in. We want to weight less than, as you can see. We want to weight less than, let's say, well, right now we'll do it less than 2. And one of the things about this too is you can change this down in the filters, and you can change this to be the weight into kilograms or pounds. We want less than, we're going to add another one, and we want a main category rank. All right, we want a main category rank that we're going to go, let's say, less than we want main category rank. This is basically where the BSR sits on this product. So we want products greater than, because one of the things we want less competitive things. So I'm going to put that at greater than 10,000. Now, that's because our theory is that you're trying to find products with lower competition. So we want to go main rank, and then let's go less than 50,000. Okay. Now you can go through and you can, say if you wanted to do it by ships by, or whatever it might be. You select these filters. So then what we're going to do is we're going to apply, and you can see how it reduces. So basically, these are the products that meet all of the criteria we wanted. Now, if I wouldn't have got into this this filter down here, go ahead.
You got to remember, guys, that what we've done is we went off and extracted more data on some of the more filters, and we stopped the search simply because it just takes too long. So if you were doing it, you would have more results showing. But because we actually stopped that artificially halfway through, or a certain section all the way through, we've limited the actual results that we're actually looking at. So yeah, you would actually get more than what we're actually seeing here.
If we could figure out how to pull that one parameter we put in there live on the call, it would have helped, but we didn't know how to pull that back. And I'm sure there's a way in which you can. I just don't know it on the top of my head. All right. Again, because it's so, I mean, listen, it takes a little more effort to kind of go through this software, but it's much more powerful than the other software programs that are out there because it's searching live, and there's so many parameters and so many ways you can filter this. I mean, really what this thing is built upon, it's like a super duper Excel spreadsheet, basically, that just filters all the stuff. So it pulls all this information and scrapes it from Amazon. All right, so here's all the products that we like. We go down, and now, again, we go back to this, and we can press that, and it takes us to these really cool shears. And then this is where we pick back up. We'd evaluate this product, and we go through and say, okay, we like this. It matches our criteria. Now, I wouldn't know that this product probably is a great product because there's probably a lot of shears. All right, so then what we would do is, and this is just some other, this is really not in the program, but just to give you a heads up, what we would do, we would look at scissors with a knife edge, because we're looking for the main keyword. Now, if you were looking just for scissors, you could have searched for that back here. You could have just searched for scissors if you wanted, and so this would be another way. So what you could do is, which is super powerful, you could put that main keyword in there and filter that out, and then it would only give you all of the scissors. And it looks like it, I mean, if you have the main keyword, that would give you the number of competitors that they're actually in that category, which is one of the hardest things to go out and find, but it's also one of the most important things to find out how many of these are. So we go through, and then it's going to show you all of the shears. Now, this is where we would try to find the main keyword. There's only 2 pages of these shears. Now it's because I've got a pretty large scissor designer, so we would take out the word designer, you know, and we just say we want scissors. That would be the main category, I'm sure. We would search those, and then it would give us all of the scissors that are on Amazon. Now what we could do is we would take that number and see there's over 400 pages. That doesn't mean that there are 400, but there's probably close to that many pages. So what happened is we would go back through, and we wanted to count those. What we do is we go back into the top 100 analyzer, and what we would do is we could put in scissors, and then it would let us know how many pairs of scissors that there were in the files that we extracted. So I think that's a pretty good walkthrough of how you would use it. Now, it does some more powerful things. The other software does things, but what today we were really focused on is how to find a product with the top product analyzer. And again, to review real quick, you'd go in here and you pick Amazon.com. You could pick the hot new releases, the movers and shakers. You'd go down here and you can delve really super deep inside of Amazon and pick these subcategories where the niches are, where the golden nuggets are sitting is down here in these smaller categories, low, you know, multiple categories in, and you can dig with this thing. We should call it, what is it, a backhoe? You know, those things that has those diggers on there that digs holes for you. It's a backhoe, and it just digs in here. It's like a mole. And if you've ever had a mole in your yard, it just puts those, you know, those little tracks all over your yard. This thing just tracks all over your yard looking for products that you can sell. So then we would go up here, and the filter option, which is what we want to do. We want to show them the filters, and these are the filters that we currently have on. And we're going to go into this. We're going to spend the next several weeks comparing these products and showing you how to use this product, because I think this product is one of the most powerful products out there to help you find products, as well as the other tools. Now, I mean, Paul and I happen to use all three. You know, one of the things that I tell people is you're going to start a business that can make you $500 to $1,000 to $5,000 a month. Just like working on cars, you're going to have some tools. Like, you couldn't start an automobile repair shop and not have some lifts and some tools and some wrenches and some specialty tools to be able to work on foreign cars in case you're working on foreign cars. So you might have to have 2 sets of sockets. I mean, there's just tools that you're going to have. And you can get carried away with tools, but these 3 products, I think, are some of the best products you can have to be able to look for products. So we have the filters. Paul talked a little bit about the columns of changing the size and searching. We talked about reducing the amount of time that you'd have to use by looking at the number of reviews that you're looking for, and as well as the price, which will take it longer. Now, again, inside the software, there are some super good training videos that will help you walk through this. It does take a little more time to get your hands on this thing, I think, than it does to get into the web app on Jungle Scout. But Jungle Scout is only searching the database of products. Now, they have a lot of products in there, but if you put the same parameters in over and over again, you're going to get the same products over and over again, to me, which at some point may be a problem. That doesn't mean that we still don't find great niches. We still don't find great products in Jungle Scout. This, to me, just gives you more opportunity to find unique and different products, because you're able to go so far deep inside of here. Molding, casting. I mean, you're not going to, I mean, you might find something in Jungle Scout, but it's probably not delved down in there, and you're not going to be able to go, and you're also not going to be able to pick and find out how many people are competing for that keyword. You're going to be able to find that number out. And probably one of the most important things that I'm going to tell you about being successful on Amazon is the fact that you want to know how many people and how many competitors that you have to compete with. Because if I implore you to do anything in this business, is to make sure that you have under 250, and I would prefer you to have under 150 competitors. Now, to me, that number changes a little bit based upon price, because price matters. In the process, when you're searching for products, you know, if you have that right price, you know, that's going to help you stay in the place that you want to do. So and then the number of competitors leads you to probably the greatest asset, which is, hey, I'm not competing. I'm trying to have a product that doesn't compete with as many people. And obviously, if you're not competing with many people, then if you apply your great skills to it, you're going to stand out. So I hope that that's a heck of an insight in there. We're going to search more here in the next week probably, and we're going to get really deep into this. We're going to cover all these pieces of software, because I know the most important thing that you can do, somebody's got their mic on. I know the most important thing you can do in this process is find a product. It's how to pick a product. Everything else becomes secondarily. I mean, you can have a bad listing. I mean, you can put up a bad title, you can put a bad picture, do all of these things, and your product could still be successful. But if you have the wrong product, there's about a 99% chance that you're not going to be successful, because it's the wrong product. So finding a product that has low competition, that has the parameters you want, that the weight is right. Because what this is a super time saver. Amasuite is a super time saver because it allows you to look at only products and evaluate products that have the kind of parameters and attributes of product champions that you want. So again, I give a wholehearted review of this and kind of giving you some of the negatives, but a lot of the positives. I recommend Amasuite. I've been using it for 2 years. And actually lately I haven't been looking for products a lot lately, and we haven't talked about it on a deal. So I had my hands on it. As you can see, I'm a little rusty inside of here, especially with the new software. But over the next couple of weeks, we're going to get really delve deep in this. And then we'll go through each one of these pieces of software and show you how to use it, but we're also gonna actually do live product searches where I'm gonna get you on here and we're actually gonna go out and search for products and really compare them and walk through the whole process. So any other things to add to this, Paul?
No, people are asking where they can get it. How much is it? So I've put the link into the chat.
Let me give it to you easy. It's $199. And one of the things that I'll do with you, if you purchase this product and you use the link, which is amasuite.com/Rob. amasuite.com/ROB. So Amasuite, www.amasuite.com/Rob. I will do a one-on-one walkthrough with you, meaning we'll get on a call just like I am now, and I'll sit with you and I'll walk you through how to set these filters and do that, which is a super advantage to be able to have somebody with their hands on it. Because obviously if you start out from ground zero, it's going to take you longer. So I can super run you fast and leap you over the amount of time. So, because remember, all of us are working jobs and doing things outside of Amazon likely, and our time is super valuable. So people say, oh, well, it's $200. Well, guess what? If I can find a product in a week instead of spending the next 3 months, it's the best money you've ever spent in the world, because your time is more valuable than anything. Once it's gone, it's gone. So using a product like this and saving the time is way more important, because if you spend 10 hours searching, that's $20 an hour. If you spend 50 hours searching, now all of a sudden you're talking about $5, an hour that you're making on searching. If you spend 100 hours looking, now all of a sudden you're making $2 an hour, as compared to a product like this for 200, which you can reduce your time and make it way more valuable, and pay yourself, which we call opportunity cost. So the opportunity cost by using a product or all of the tools out there, lower your time, and the quicker you can find a product. The main thing you're gonna have to do is make a choice. And you're going to have to, at some point, jump off into this. And that's where we talk about doing the product test. So you're going to find a product, you're going to order 150 to 200 items of that product. You're going to go out, test pay-per-click on it, make sure you have a great listing. And if it's not the product and it's not selling, then you're going to jump in and out of it quickly. You're going to liquidate those products. So, hey, that's my Amasuite walkthrough. Again, I fully recommend this product. It's $197. I'll do a specific walkthrough with you, hands on hands, if you buy the product from us. And the reason I'm able to give you the personal time, and is that I get some payment on that, and that's what helps us continue to do these webinars and be able to walk through. But getting to spend an hour with me, and the truth is these calls usually ask more than an hour. And you can also ask any other questions about your Amazon business. It could be other things or whatever you want to do to get started. So there you go, Paul. You got anything to add?
That was just scratching the surface, but that was a really good walkthrough, Rob. Excellent. But like I said, we will be diving into this a little bit deeper. We'll be doing the other software suites that go along with this particular sort of tool, and we'll be doing the comparisons. Which is really good. We've got one last question from David. Is there an upgrade, or do we need to buy this outright? So in other words, he's bought Amasuite 4. Is there an upgrade price? I don't know, David. We'll come back to you on that one. We'll ask the team that own this.
I think there is a slight discount on an upgrade, and when you go to the website, if you go through my link and you go to the website, I think there's an upgrade price for it.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. All right, Rob. Thank you very much. That was awesome. Anybody got any other questions during the week? Just come back to us. But otherwise, we'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week.
Go, 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 Gorillaz.
All right.